Hello, America and curling fans from Canada and Newfoundland. Newfoundland. This is your host Ryan Olson with you, bringing the final draw of our Saturday quadruple header from the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. It's the 2023 MoPac Arena Playdowns. We're witnessing the last game of round robin play in the women's field, featuring a game between Team Leichter of Wine Country Curling Club and Team Malia from, when I did the club name right, also a Wine Country Curling Club. It is a Central California clash as the first rock is in play, and we are underway. Team Leichter has the advantage of throwing last. That means Team Malia will throw the first rock. This one looks to be a little heavy from the lead for Team Leichter. It will fall into the house. Oh, Leichter has the hammer. Malia threw the first rock, and Malia, the lead for Malia, is designated on the schedule as Ruth Ann Madamba. This is the first rock coming for Team Leichter. There's still a lot to play for in the women's field. I'll recap that in just a moment. This is lead Catherine Nelson. She began curling just under 2 years ago in December 2021. Very interesting to look at these bios and learn more about the teams in the field. Glad you're with us. Should be a good set of games tonight. We will update you as the action continues. So Malia's lead throws the next stone. I'm looking to draw the other side of the house or the guard zone. It turns out to be a corner guard. It's not really guarding much. We'll see what the next shot is coming from Team Leichter. So Catherine, some of her notable accomplishments include being the tournament champion at the Grand Teton Bonspiel as lead last year in 2022. Was in the Death by Numbers mini spiel at Orange County Curling Club, finishing as a tournament champion as second, and then also was in two sets of leads, well, 2 years worth of leads at Orange County Curling, uh, placing and winning a couple times. Very impressive. So the second for Team Malia gets set in the hack. This appears to be Zoe Canavis, born and raised Wisconsinite, grew up in the burbs of Milwaukee, and I think looking to draw around those corner guards. Looks to be pretty good. I don't think it's going to curl up around the guard, but it is in the house, giving two stones for Leiter to worry about early in this game. So looking at the women's field, we had 6 teams in the field. There's an outright champion. Uh, they would win the championship with a proviso. We'll get to that in just a moment. Currently, that's Team Assis at 4-0. And then right behind that is Team Feldman at a 3-1 record. This looks pretty good for Team Leichter. It's going to hit out that blue, and then the yellow is going to roll to the wing and still not covered by that corner guard. So Assis is first, Feldman is second, And then we have a two-way tie between these two teams on the ice, Team Leichter and Team Malia, um, 2-2. And then we have Team Barbary with 1-0 and Team Suarez from Curl San Diego bringing up the rear. So I mentioned the proviso. We have, I think, a two-loss provision. So if we have a team that finishes round robin with less than or two losses or less, they are still able to play in the playoffs. This rock is a little heavy and it's going through the house out of play, so that basically gives a lighter or lighter, pardon me, an opportunity to really kind of change the end in her favor. Okay, so the scenario is if the top seeded team has one loss or less, and all other teams have at least two losses, the top seeded team will become champion without playoff games. If the second seeded team has a better record than the third seeded team, they will become runner up without any playoff games. If the second and third seeded teams have the same win loss record, they will play a single playoff game to determine runner up. Uh, this is interesting. If all the top three seeds have exactly two losses or all have exactly one loss, there'll be a playoff between the second and third seed, and then the winner will face the top seeded team in the championship final. So there's some very interesting scenarios. We'll dig into that as we wrap up round robin play. There's a lot of different scenarios, especially since we have one team that's currently undefeated, one team with one loss, and two teams with two losses. So we will see how that goes as the night progresses. This looks to be the rock coming from Malia's Vice. That would be Amy Tucker, who spent most of her child and teen years in ice rinks in Minnesota, went to college in Duluth, but never saw curling in person until at One Country Curling in Skate Town a year and a half ago. Oh, and this also looks a little on the heavy side. So I think teams are trying to find their draw weight early in this game. Obviously, finding the weight to get to the button is of utmost importance. So Queen of Mewers is set in the hack. It looks like they're going to try and draw into the guards, maybe open things up a bit. Mewers throws about hack weight. Going to clear the guard, maybe run the guard onto the blue. Nope, angel's not working out for that. It does open things up a bit. Interesting development. And strike coming from the vice for Malia. Looks like they're going to get around that yellow. I thought it was going to curl around, but actually it's going to hang out in the center, pretty exposed. And I think that gives Leichter a chance to hit and roll under protection. Let's take a look at the Manitoba Mutton Manufacturers of America button cam. If you want to look for the button, check out our fine mutton. Ooh, this is going to wreck, unfortunately. Or maybe Nope. I was gonna say maybe they're gonna try the angle raise again. It's not there. There's a lot of high guards in this house or outside this house. So now I think Malia has a pretty good advantage here, sitting two, uh, both protected somewhat, and so they're looking over their shots here, looking to I think draw and put a guard. Even if they stick it in the port, that would be really good. Just make it a lot harder for Leichter to score one at this point. So we've been talking about the ice all week. We've been seeing some of the ice speed be slow during the practice, but speed up pretty nicely. And just from these early stones, I think the ice is moving at a good clip. As the skip, Allison Malia, throws the first stone. She was born in Massachusetts, misses the cold. It's only fitting she found an ice sport of curling. She loves sports of all kinds and participates in soccer, bowling, and running in addition to curling. This is through the port. Looks like it's going to get around that high center guard and settle into the house. And looks really good. It does maybe set up a double. I, that is a really high guard for Team Leichter. It looks like Leichter is going to try and follow Malia down to the top of the button. It's a tricky situation for Leichter. They're facing three Malia counters in the house, and I think they're trying to follow Malia down, but I don't think it would be for shot. It could be a setup shot for shot. Sweepers are on it early. Now they're off. Cleaning. This is a little bit wide, also a little bit heavy. So this is going to go deep and out of play. An unfortunate miss for Leichter, who really needed that shot. So now for Malia, I think looking to do the same type of shot, even just a little less weight. So then it would close the door and really, I think, make it the difficulty level to advance, as it were, for Leichter to get a single out of this end. Malia shots away. This is curling up pretty nicely. Again, a guard is great. You can't spell great without guard, and vice versa. If you're tuning in for the broadcast, definitely appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions or feedback, feel free to leave a comment. Definitely appreciate the feedback because we're definitely bringing this to you guys as a service of our region, the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. So, without a lot of great options, it looks like Team Leichter is going to try to. I think they're going to try and draw. I was thinking they could maybe do an in off with that blue that's on the left side, or switching to the button cam. It looks like it could be they could maybe hit the inside of it and wick in towards the button, and that could be what they're doing with a decent amount of weight. It'll be interesting to see what Leichter throws here. And Jennifer Leichter has been curling since 1988 at Broomstones in Wayland, Massachusetts. A tee shot here coming now. So they're looking to draw in, not do the in off. It's going to be through those high guards. Needs to stay outside, and it's not going to get there. It's going to crash on the blue and on the center line, and not a great outcome, unfortunately. If you're Leichter, it's a great outcome if you're Malia, as it's a steal of four for Malia to jump ahead to the early lead. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back when we return to our coverage of the 2023 MoPac Arena Playdowns, coming to you live from the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. Welcome back to our continuing coverage of the 2023 MoPac Arena Playdowns. This is the last draw of the night, the last night of round robin play. So let's go around the rings and talk about the games that are in action. There are three women's games plus one men's tiebreaker. Excuse me. On sheet two, our feature sheet, we do have the game between Team Malia and Team Leichter, with Malia stealing four, I believe, to open up the scoring. On sheet three, we have Team Barbary taking on Team Assis, the currently undefeated Assis from Silicon Valley. They are opening with the hammer. Not seeing a score posted yet. We'll find that out. And then on sheet four, we have the men's tiebreaker in Group B. We had three teams with the same record, and it came down to the best draw shot challenges, or the closest to the button measurement. And it was Team Stephanie from one country and Team Burnt from Orange County emerging victorious. And they are facing off for a chance to face the other three semifinal teams tomorrow morning, or tomorrow midday, 1:30. My apologies. And then on sheet five, we have Team Suarez from San Diego taking on Team Feldman from Wine Country Curling. Looks like Feldman scored two with a hammer to start things off. All of the results are being posted to bondspieler.com, the home of our live scores. Let's turn our attention back to our feature sheet, where Team Malia is about to throw. Looks like the second rock. This looks to be a little up weight. And indeed, it's going to go through the house out of play. So one of the great things about this event, there's a lot of great things about this event, as I've been talking about throughout the week, as we see Kira Manayan throw her first, I believe. We have great volunteers. We've had great hosts. This is going to, looks like, clip the yellow and roll towards the center. Not a bad outcome. Thank you for the comments on the team names and the Stips name. I definitely want to make sure I'm getting it right. I'll do my best. Hopefully, I'll be forgiven if I still misspeak a little bit. Looks like we're going for a takeout here from Team Malia. It's going a little wide, and that's going to go through the house out of play. So Melia's, they jumped up to a 4 point lead. They seem to have a pretty good circumstance with this end, but Leichter is just kind of finding their door, finding their opening to climb into. And we'll see if the door is open for Leichter and how they're going to be able to take advantage of that. So Twina and Leichter are looking over their shot. I say Twina. No, that's Kira. Kira. I think they're looking to, I hope, tap, but they could be. I think they're actually maybe drawing to the right side of the house as we see the angle here. So sweepers are on it. Let's. I say it looks pretty good, but it could set up a double for Team Malia to take on. And indeed, that seems to be what happened. Let's look at the mutton button cam, and there's a double there. If Malia decided to take it on, it looks like they're just going to draw in on top of that. And this is as Amy Tucker gets set here. This is wide. They're trying to push it over, but I don't know if it's going to get back. Oh, not too bad. Actually, they could be shot. Let's take a look at the overhead. So it's a close thing, but Leichter is still shot, although the storing area has gotten very small. Um, although if Leichter were to get rid of the Melia stone, the Leichter could be sitting for, kind of take the store back to zero or back to neutral, as it were. So I think looking to tap back. This is a little hot and a little wide. So I don't think it's a bad outcome, although it doesn't run the yellow back. It sets up Malia shot, and I think Malia's going to close the door. Actually, she's looking to draw the T, it appears. Shots away. Weight looks pretty good, maybe a little heavy. I say a little heavy, but they're sweeping it, and I think they're sweeping for line more than for weight. It's going to make, I think, contact with the back blue. Actually, no. It was exactly what Malia dialed up, and Tucker delivered. That was a great shot. So Queen of Mewers, I think, was asked to deal some heat here, and got a positive outcome. Although they lost one of the yellows plus the yellow shooter for the price of one of those blues. So the house is still leaning towards Leichter, although Malia has the shot in the back to the 4 foot circle there. And I think Malia is going to try a very similar shot to what she just threw. I don't think she wants to be exactly on the tee. Think she wants to be full 4 foot to the left from this view as she makes her way down the ice. Just wants to sit two. I don't think she wants to put up a guard because if Lecter was ever able to get rid of that blue, it would swing the house heavily in favor of Lecter. The shots away. The weight's kind of thrown me off. It looks heavy out of hand, but it hits the brakes as the stone goes down the ice. However, this does look heavy. I think this could be not a great. Okay. By being heavy and wide, Amelia actually dodged a bullet for now because she could have hit that blue that shot out of the way, and as it was, the shooter just kissed the shot stone, and the shooter rolled out of the way, but the shot stone is still shot. So now the door is open for Leichter to hit that blue on the nose and be sitting four, really challenging Malia to avoid giving up a big number in return to what she was able to steal in the first end. A key shot coming now from Jennifer Leichter. I think trying to push it over. It's wide. They need to touch it at the minimum. I think it might. Oh goodness, a flash. So just as Amelia offered up an opportunity for Leichter in turn gave up her opportunity. So an unfortunate miss there. So I think Amelia is trying a daring shot here. I think they want to hit one of the yellows and kind of maybe roll to the center a little bit. So they'd be sitting two and also reducing one of the counters that a lighter could possibly bring into play later in the end. Another tight shot coming from Allison Melia. Okay, so they're I think looking for a guard. They're not going to try and hit the yellow. They're just going to make it as hard as possible for Lighter to get rid of that blue, that shot rock. However, She can't take away all the shots, and there is a possibility for Leichter to run at an angle that yellow that Leichter has the broom on back onto the blue, and that would be definitely for three, maybe four, depending on if the blue gets pushed all the way out of the house and the shooter stays around. This is a slightly tricky shot, but it is makeable. Be different. It'll be very interesting to see if Leiter can pull this out of her back pocket, as it were. Ewers has the broom down, looking for an angle raise run back for two, three, maybe four. So Ewers indicated that the shot was wide. I think they're going to try and push it over. The weight, it's over curling now. So I think maybe they're looking for a plan B. It's going to be past the guard. Oh, it wicked off the guard. Oh, wow. I think it worked off the guard. That was a pretty crazy shot. A slow pinball action for Leiter to kind of bounce off a couple stones and end up on the forefoot for a single. So not the big end that perhaps they were hoping for, but they are in this game. Is Team Malia with a 4-1 lead as we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the 2023 MoPac Arena Playdowns, coming to you live from the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club, just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Oakland International Airport. Let's do a quick a trip around the rings, pardon me. Sheet for the men's tiebreaker between Stephanie of Wine Country and Team Burnt of Orange County. Not seeing the score. We'll see what happened. They could have blanked the first end, or they could have not posted it. We'll keep you updated. Sheet three, the game between Team Barbary of Wine Country and Team Assis, the undefeated Assis of Silicon Valley. Barbary stole one in the first end. It's currently one. I say 1-0, but Assis actually answered with a four spot. So Assis is up 4-1 after two. And then on sheet five, the other women's game between Team Suarez of San Diego and Team Feldman. Feldman scored two with a hammer in the first, and then Suarez answered with a single in the second. They are currently in the third end. Looking at our feature sheet game, the first stone, sorry, the first stone actually from the lead of Team Malia. Again, I do believe that's Ruth Ann Madamba. She is a registered veterinary technician with a veterinary ophthalmologist. So that goes in the house, and it looks like Leichter's looking to draw on top of that. As we see the second stone coming from the lead for Team Leichter. Again, Catherine Nelson. This is over curling. I think they're hoping to keep it in the house. make use of it later in the end. And it does appear it's going to stick around. So it looks like Malia is shot in the 8 foot with Leichter sitting two in the outer rings, the 12 foot. And again, only one team can score per end. Whoever's closest to the center gets a point for that first rock, and then additional points for each additional rock until you hit the first opponent's stone. Next rock coming from Ruth Ann. It looks like they're going to maybe do some tap action on that yellow. Actually, that would not be what they wanted, but it worked out okay. So now Leichter wants to try and take out that blue again, maybe hit and roll, asking Kira Manayan to make a play on it. Kira was inspired by the 2022 Olympic Winter Games and was able to start her curling odyssey in spring of 2022. Since then, was at the 2022 Reindeer Games mini spiel at Orange County as lead, finishing third place. The 2023 Derby mini spiel at Orange County curling, and she will make contact with that blue. The shooter's going to roll out, so it opens things up and gets rid of shot stone. So that was a good outcome for Kira. Liked her his shot, but blue Malia is right there. Zoe Cannabis gets set. She's a lifelong student, aka still in college, perpetually, quote, about to graduate. I think they were maybe hoping to pluck out that yellow. It's going to be a little wide and go sailing through the house. Some words of encouragement from the skip. Just people miss. It's if we were perfect, the game would not be any fun. So now it looks like Leichter wants Kira to draw around the center stones. That was a nice, graceful delivery there. Weight looks to be pretty close. Queen is on it. It's going to curl into the pile there, but not a potentially bad outcome. It does jam on the center rocks. The shooter rolls to the wing while the two stones in the center just kind of shift to the left a little bit from this view. I think Melia is asking for the draw around the center, approaching it from the side opposite of what Leichter is trying. Shots away. This looks like it's over curling. Maybe looking for a plan B, maybe to open up the center of the house. It jams on that blue center, pushes the yellow center rock closer to the 8 foot to be full 8 foot. Um, Kind of a messy end shaping up here. Lighter shot, but it could change quickly as we've seen throughout this weekend. So Lighter's maybe looking at a possible draw there. Plan B maybe to tap the yellow up that's on the by the broom from this view. Queen is looking over the shots. She began curling in June 2019. Her curling career was shaped by two unfortunate events, including the pandemic shutdown that happened when she was a beginner, and then she broke her leg skiing in 2022 after playing in the Sawtooth Outdoor Bonspiel in Stanley, Idaho. This looks like it's going to over curl. Uh, I think they want to be careful about how they hit those blues, and not a bad outcome. I think they're not quite reading the line for the ice. I think the stones are curling more than they were anticipating, and I think they've been curling more than we've seen on this broadcast throughout the weekend. Throughout the weekend, we've been seeing curl of about 2.5 feet to 3 feet. It does kind of vary on different sheets and different ice, but it's been fairly consistent from what I've seen. So I think they're asking for the tap, or they're actually going to, I think, hit out the yellow if they can. And they do the yellow shot rock moving. Uh, oh, but it just rolls to the side. It's enough to push it out of the way for blue to be shot, but this is turning into a pretty messy house. Leichters, I think, considering her options, I think she wants to tap that yellow back onto the blue to get rid of the blue shot stone and be sitting three, maybe, well, two, definitely two. So Twina, while she was covering from breaking her leg, started skipping, which significantly increased her understanding and appreciation of the game. Looking for a slight angle run back. It looks pretty close. It's enough to make contact. Leichter is sweeping it, and so they're definitely sitting two for Team Leichter, and the blue shooter goes away. It does give Amelia a chance to draw in. They could also like maybe hit one of the yellows out of the way and roll in if they chose. And the shot's away, looking for a draw. Let's see how much it curls here. I think from the wings we could be seeing up to 3.5 feet, but it's staying pretty straight from this line. And Leichter puts her broom on it, swoops it to the back 12, out of the out of the house. Can't finish that sentence. It's hanging on the back foot. You can see it there. It's just hanging on by a sliver. So I think kind of based on where the position in the broom, Leichter wants to kind of block the door, make it hard for Malia to access that center of the house, which is a pretty sound strategy. You can see the blue clock ticking down in the background from this shot. We are timing. We're running a clock. We're not timing the event. The countdown clock is to indicate how much time we've allotted for the draw and are strongly encouraging players and teams to kind of stay on pace to conclude at around that time. We've been pretty good so far this competition. Some games have gone to an extra end, which does add about 20 minutes to the time. We're very thankful for the ice crew for being able to accommodate these extra rounds of play. Just looking for a guard here with Jennifer Leichter's first. Now Twina runs out to help out. They just are looking to close the door. And the door is not fully closed, but it is a pretty good shot from Jennifer. So it looks like Malia is going to, I think, try to tap that blue that's there and tap it towards the center. So it looks like based on the ice that they've given Malia, they're going to try and expect it to stay fairly straight. So the shot's underway. The vice didn't move the broom out too much, but it's hanging out wide. And unfortunately, it's going to go sailing past everything out of play. So now Leichter sitting two. I think looking to make it a lot harder for Malia to get a point. They're considering drawing to the top there from this view or blocking that raise that Amelia just tried to do. I think the sound curling strategy is to leave the other team the harder shot. So I think taking away that raise of the blue is the call. Not actually. Just based on where Queena has the broom, I think they might be trying to draw uh, to through the port that we can see from the center view. And if it's a guard, that's fine. But just to make sure that Melia can access the house from that line. Interesting call. Definitely looking like a guard weight draw here. I think they want to make sure it doesn't wreck on that yellow. Although if it does wick off the yellow, that's not too bad. So that could be a plan B. The shot's going to carry past that high guard or mid guard, go past it. Now they want to be off. They want to keep it high so that Melia can't hit that yellow and score a point. I think it's really close, and it's good enough for shots. If Melia were to hit that yellow, it would be hard for Melia to outcount that yellow that's on the wing, I believe. So they're going to try that angle raise again with less eyes. The potential downside here is that it could overcurl and hit that yellow that's on near the center line and put that yellow into scoring position. So it's a tough situation, but Melia is kind of running out of options on this end. So looking for the angle raise. Skip is talking it over with her front end. I think kind of discussing which role the sweepers are going to play. Sweepers, depending on which side they're on, can work to accentuate the curl more or to kind of help straighten out the curl. But right now, there's no sweeper on this rock. Looks like it is curling. You can see it there. It looks like it's not going to, ooh, it's going to kind of go into that middle portion there. Uh, kind of pinballed a little at the top, but not enough to change things around. It's a steal of three for Team Leichter. And just like that, this game is tied. It's a pretty exciting start. I'm glad you guys are tuned in for this game. If you have any questions or comments, feedback, let us know on the YouTube channel or this live chat that we have going. I definitely appreciate the response. It's always nice to know that people are watching. So we're going to take a quick look around the range and we'll be right back to the game. Taking a look around the rings, the second sheet, sheet two, is getting started with its next end. That's our feature sheet with Malia with the blue stones taking on Team Leichter from Orange County. Sheet three is the second of three women's games. We got Team Barbary with the red rocks taking on Team Assis from Silicon Valley. It looks like that's Team Assis. My apologies. It's like looks like Team Barbary added on another three in the second end and is not shot, but they're making it really hard for Assis to score more than one or two in this end. The sheet four is the only men's game on the ice. That is the men's Group B tiebreaker between Team Stephanie from Wine Country playing with the Yellow Rocks and Team Burnt from Orange County. Looks like Stephanie opened with a single and Burnt responded with a deuce with a hammer. It's currently 2-1 Burnt as far as I can tell. Sheet five is the last women's game of the round robin. We got Team Suarez from San Diego taking on Team Feldman. And it looks like the score is still 2-1 in favor of Feldman as they are wrapping up the third end, it appears. Shifting back to our feature game, Leiter has the broom down, I think, to draw on top of the yellow that's currently in the house. This is the this is the second stone coming from the lead, Catherine Nelson. And if it's a guard, that's also fine. It's going to get past the guard, behind. It's going to poke out the other side. It does poke out the other side. It's pretty exposed there. So it gives an opportunity for Melia to take advantage of. Looks like Melia is calling for bumper weights, which is kind of enough weight to get to the bumper, kind of where Lecter is standing in the background there. So there's going to be some heat being brought in by the lead, Ruth Ann. Hitting the right line is going to be important. They're trying to hold it straight, and it looks pretty good. Going to get one of the yellows out of the way. So Leiter's calling for another center-ish guard. Uh, Rocks that are touching that center line where the blue rock is cannot be moved off of that center line until after the fifth rock at the end, which is coming up soon. This is the fifth rock coming. Rocks away. Weight looks a little up. So I don't think it's going to be a guard. Maybe look for a plan B. Maybe freeze it on the shot stone or even tap the shot stone back a little bit. And actually, it slowed down a lot more quickly than I thought. So a high rock in the house, covering that shot stone. There's still a possible double takeout, but it's going to be interesting to see if Melia wants to take that on. And I think they're looking to just draw into the pile, maybe to try and draw around at least one of those yellow stones. as Zoe gets set and delivers. She started curling in 2022 after a learn to curl session. She thought this was going to be a one off date with her partner. Apparently, they can't casually do things. This is going to crash on the center guard, but it's going to raise the center guard towards the yellows. Not a bad outcome, but it doesn't favor Malia. And it looks like Leichter wants to kind of close the door on that path by putting up another guard. And she's asking Kira to deliver there. And it does its job. Looks like a good shot there. So Malia is, I think, looking to maybe try and draw around that congestion in the center of the house, center of the sheet, as Zoe gets set for her last. The way it looks pretty good. I think maybe they're possibly looking to I think they may be possibly looking to tap back, but it's going to wreck on that center blue and roll to the wing there. Not too bad. It opens up another path towards the button. There's a blue in the way, depending on whose view of the stone it is. I think if you're lighter, you want to prevent Melia from raising that blue. And if Melia had a chance, she would probably raise that blue towards the center of the house. I think lights the miss, and again, the path is the most important part of the shot. The weight isn't too bad as long as it airs on the slightly light side. Uh, don't want to be way light. Some of Queena's highlights include the 2023 Derby Mini Spiel at Orange County, curling as the tournament champion. She was also the D event winner at the Ball Bonspiel at San Francisco Bay Area, Skip. That was an LGBTQ plus friendly event, and was also at the USA Curling 5 and Under National Championships in 2023. Earned a spot in a tiebreaker playoff game. That shot kind of clogged up the middle, so it looks like Malia is going to try and just kind of run the blue that the broom's next to onto the yellow, kind of clean up the house a little bit, shift control of the front of the house towards Malia. So another interesting note about Amy is that she shows and breeds Bernese mountain dogs and has traveled all over the world in conjunction with her dogs. She knows that she could tell you how many dogs she actually has, but probably won't. Let's see what she has here. Shot was a little wide. It does clear one of the yellow guards, and I think does accomplish shifting the control of the front of the house towards Malia, but there's still some work to do. This is Queena's last shot here in the fourth. And just hoping to put another one in on the center line. It's pretty close. It might be over curling slightly. And I think it does make it harder for Malia to run that blue onto the yellow. So a mission accomplished. So it looks like Malia is going to try and hit that blue on the center from the other side, away from the yellow that was just put up. A tricky shot. Looks like it's a little wide, out of hand. Sweeper's going to try and push it back towards the middle, maybe looking for a plan B of hitting the outside blue and running it towards the middle. And it does that contact, and it does push that blue towards the center of the house, biting the 4 foot for a second shot. So right now, Leichter is sitting first and fourth shot, while Malia is sitting second, third, and fifth. So if Malia was able to pluck out those two yellows, that would really turn the end around. So Leichter is talking over the shot with Twina, with Mewers. I think they just want to clog up the draw path to make it hard for Malia to get to the center of the house. A good strategy if you don't have the hammer and are trying to make it harder for the other team to score. So Allison Amelia makes her way down the ice, getting set for her shot. Does some rock cleaning. Oh no, this is not. This is Leichter. I apologize. This is Leichter's shot, her first, trying to make it harder for Amelia to score. Um, I think the line looked pretty good out of hand. Sweepers are on it. I think making sure it goes the distance. And also, I think it's important to keep the line. And it looks like they're trying to fight to keep it straight as possible. And it's going to curl in front of those two yellow and blue rocks in the 12. So I think that looked like a good outcome for Lecter. It does keep open a draw for Malia as Amy has the broom down. I think they're looking to draw to the side of the 4 foot, maybe to outcount the Lecter shot stone. Throwing some heat here, looking to move some rocks around, I believe. Could be a little wide, though. Sweepers aren't touching it. The vice skip is just kind of watching it go by. The weight actually wasn't too bad. It just didn't curl up that much. And so Queen of Mewers is going to escort it to the back of the house where it is going to sit, looks like fourth. So again, making it the situation where if Amelia was ever able to hit out Lecter's shot stone, it would really turn the end in favor of Amelia. So it looks like Leichter's going to close the door on this. Maybe she's seen enough. Skip Jennifer Leichter kicks out of the hatch. This looks to be about the same weight as Malia just threw. Also, a very similar path. We'll see if it hangs out just like Amelia's last stone did. And actually, this is curling up pretty well. And actually, if they're able to kind of maybe wick off of that yellow in the top of the house and kind of roll to the side, that would be a boon, as it were. It kind of nestles up to that yellow and kind of blocks off that draw path. And now Malia is looking for plan B, C, or D just to try and score a point. If they get rid of that yellow, they could be scoring multiple. This looks to be a high difficulty attempt that's being dialed up by Team Malia. So I think they're looking to maybe run the yellow onto blue, onto yellow, perhaps. This is again a high difficulty shot. We'll see what Malia has in her pocket here. Up weights. It's going to hit the yellow on the outside. Okay. So it doesn't really affect the outcome of the end. Leiter steals one to take a 1 point lead as we head into the second half of the game in just a moment when we return to the 2023 MoPac Mixed Playdowns coming to you from the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. Welcome back to the 2023 MoPac Arena Playdowns. This is the last round robin game for the women's side of the event, and we also have a men's Group B tiebreaker. Just to recap the action on all the sheets. Again, sheet two is our feature sheet between Team Leichter and Malia. Sheet three is the second of three women's games featuring Team Barbary of Wine Country with the Red Rocks taking on Team Assis from Silicon Valley. It looks like Barbary, after jumping to an early lead, is holding on. It's currently 4-2 in favor of Barbary. Sheet four is the men's Group B tiebreaker with Team Stephanie of Wine Country taking on Team Burnt of Orange County. Um, Looks like Burnt did score two in the second end, but Stephanie responded with a deuce of his own. It appears to be 3-2 in favor of Stephanie after three. And then on sheet five, we got Team Suarez of San Diego taking on Team Feldman of Wine Country. And Feldman is starting to slowly pull away here. Everything was all square after, looks like three ends. And Feldman put up a three at one point, is currently up 5-2. All these scores are posted to bondspieler.com. They are our host of live curling scores, so feel free to check it out at bondspieler.com. Turning back to our feature game here, we have Team Malia with the Blue Rocks taking on Team Leichter of Orange County with the Yellow Rocks. And it looks like Malia started to tap the yellow towards the house. I don't know if that was a center guard. They're kind of looking over it, and also I think the non-offending team has the option of uh, leaving the rocks as they played out if it was a center line guard violation. As part of the no tick rule, as what we've had in curling for the past couple of years at the competitive level. At league night, the no tick rule is not usually in effect. So it looks like Mewers is coming down to kind of talk over the situation with Leichter. I'm wondering if they're talking about the fact that it appears to be a possible violation. And so, yes, they are treating it as if it were a violation. They removed the offending stone and replaced the center guard. So we got to see the outcome of this no tick. Uh, so now Kira is going to, I think, maybe draw around those center guards and put one in the center of the house. Again, if you don't have hammer, you want to control the front and the center of the house to make it harder for a team with a hammer to get to the center of the house to score at least 1 point. This actually looks like it might be a wrecking on the center guard that got put back into place. So resetting the center guard kind of did what had it. I don't know if it was intentional, but it definitely was a fortunate outcome by resetting that center guard. And so now it is Amelia's turn to, I think, try and draw around the pile. This is the last rock of the five rock rule for both free guards and center line guards. The free guard zone is generally you can't remove a guard from the opposing team out of play entirely until the fifth rock of the end, or after the fifth rock of the end. This might be a little tight. It is looking to, I think, come on to the yellow guard. This is not a center guard. So, and it crashes and just taps it towards the house. Excuse me. So just puts more some congestion in the front of the house. But Malia couldn't remove any of the guards until this rock at the end. So I think they're going to try that draw around again with Kira's second, or Kira's. This looks like it's gonna, ooh, it wicks off of the yellow and spins into the house. And so now Lictor is sitting three, but they're all kind of bunched up in the 12 foot. So Malia could try and pick those out or kind of ignore them and set up the rest of the end. So it looks like Melia's throwing some weight here. I think to start moving some stones around, but it needs to, well, it needed to move over. And actually, this is not a bad outcome. I mean, obviously, they're disappointed that the stone didn't come back, but if it kissed that yellow stone could have scooted under all those guards and been sitting shots, and with Leiter still sitting three. So I think Muir is just going to intentionally try to run back that yellow towards the center. This is a bit wide, so maybe looking for a plan B here, depending on the weight. Actually, it came back pretty nicely. It's going to make contact. It's going to tap. Not enough to push it towards the 4 foot, as I think maybe they were hoping to draw it up. But it does kind of form that wall of yellow, the Hadrian's wall, as it were, blocking off a lot of paths towards the center of the house. So this shot, looking to move some rocks around, and it does make contact with one of the yellows. I think it pushes it to the back 12, where it's going to stick around. So it opens things up. It opens up the top side or the right side of the house from the head-on view. But it looks like Leichter's going to try and maybe tap forward one of those yellows that are in front of the house. I would possibly think about just maybe trying to cut off the draw on that right side, but you know, doing the tap, especially now, would make it hard, like take away a possible double takeout from Malia. Malia in her next shot. Shots away, looking for a gentle tap, as it were. This looks pretty good from Queen of Muirs. It's going to make some contact and tap it to the back eight. Yeah. So it looks like Leichter's sitting four right now, at least. The double is there, and I think Malia wasted no time to put the broom down to try and do the double takeout to get rid of two of the yellow stones and to open up a path to the button to try and get at least one here. Got some heat on this stone. It's going to make contact with, oh, it makes contact with two, gets both of the yellows moving. Uh, one goes towards the left wing from this view, while the other one goes out of play. And so Leitzer, we're down to skip stones, is going to just kind of block the path so Amelia can't tap that blue back towards the button for shot. So with that line dialed in, Jennifer Leichter makes her way back to the hack for her first of two skip stones without the hammer here. Looking for guard weight, and I think that ice is still curling about 2.5 feet, just based on where Queena has the broom. And here we go. Oh, one last adjustment of the broom by Jennifer, and here we go. So the weight looked pretty good. They don't want to wreck on that, yeah, on that blue, so they have to be very careful here. Lights the miss. Where Queena has the broom is where they want it to end up, and I think it's going to be actually really close to the target. Definitely blocking that run back from that side. But as you can see, there is another angle run back that Malia could take on from the top, just above the center line from this view. Also, Malia could maybe try and hit one of the yellows and kind of bounce in from that side. So the broom's down. I think looking to draw through that gap, and again, if it kind of ticks off of that yellow in the top of the house, that's not a bad outcome. I guess is it Mr. Rogers or Bob Ross, the painter, that said there's no I don't know talking about happy trees. There's no mistakes, just happy happenstances or something along those lines. Feel free to correct me in the chat. So this is actually going to wreck on the yellow guard. And not too bad. It does clear the guard that Lecter just put up. And so now Lecter could put the guard back up to kind of block the shot that they were interested in blocking before, or they could try something else. But Twina Mewers has the broom down, and they're going to do the same shots that they just threw. So let's see if the second time is as charmed as the first. Okay. So apparently Bob Ross called the anything we don't like, we turn into a little happy tree or something. We don't make mistakes. We just have happy accidents. So let's see if what happens here. No mistakes, just a happy accident if it happens. I enjoy drawing happy trees and happy cows from Wisconsin, which I can't say in California because California has a pretty strong dairy industry. Oh no, this is going to come up short. Talking about happy accidents, there's a one right there. They tried to save it. It dove though. I wonder if it picked. They're not looking for a pick. They just kind of laughed that off a little bit as they go to the side of sheet one. They're talking it over. I'm curious about what happened there. And so now Melia has that raise to the center of the house for a single point, but it would definitely save the end there. So it definitely does look like they're going to go for that slight raise. They just need to move it to full 8 foot for a single point, as we can see from this view. And the shots away. Line looks pretty good. Sweepers are just walking it down the ice. It looks like it's broke there. They jumped on it. There's a possibility of it over curling, but as long as it makes solid contact, it's going to be good. And it does make that contact. Oh, it's rolling to the left here, but it looks like it ends in a good place. No happy accidents here. That was a good shot by Allison Malia for the single. And we are all square after 5. We'll be right back in just a moment when we come back to Oakland, CA. We're back taking a look around the rings here as part of our coverage. Check out our live scores on bondspieler.com. You can't go wrong when you spell bondspieler.com, your home for live curling scores. Sheet 3, the second of 3 women's games. This is a Team Barbary from Wine Country with the Red Rocks taking on Team Assis from Silicon Valley, undefeated to this point. Excuse me. It looks like Barbary is just kind of slowly maintaining their lead. Um, Assis got on the board with 2 in the third, but Barbary scored one with hammer and then stole another single in the fifth, it appears, and so it's currently 6-2 in favor of Barbary over the to this point undefeated Team Assis. Sheet 4 is a men's tiebreaker in Group B between Team Stephanie of Wine Country with Yellow Rocks and Team Burnt of Orange County with Red Rocks. Uh, it was a little back and forth, but the pendulum has swung towards Burnt after they put up a 4 spot in the fourth end. And then it appears that Stephanie responded with just a single in the fifth and is currently 6-3. Oh no, I apologize. It's still 6-3, but Steph, I think they're still playing the fifth end here. And then on sheet 5 is the last of the 3 women's games. It's Team Suarez of San Diego with the Blue Rocks taking on Team Feldman of Wine Country with the yellow. Um, Feldman has been in control. They put up a 3 spot in the fourth end, but Suarez put up a deuce in the fifth to draw within 1. It's currently 5-4 in favor of Feldman. Turning back to our feature game here. Lots of rocks in play, just the way our curling organizers like. Malia put up the center guard, I think drew around it, if I were to guess, and then Leichter drew to the corner, but was a little deep and went into the house. And now Catherine is going to throw to I think maybe draw around that center guard. They don't want to wreck on it. That was a problem last end, and this is looks to be potential trouble. Sweepers are off it. Now again, they can't move it off the center line. And oh goodness, there might need to be a measure there to see what it is. They're both looking at it. Looks like they're both happy that it's staying on the center line. Malia is saying that it is just on that center line, so no rule violation there. So it looks like Malia is asking her second to kind of draw around that pile. That being Zoe Cannabis. This is actually going to crash on the center pile there. Um, oh goodness, that's the fifth rock of the end. So now that is a no-tip rule violation. Just a weird outcome here where you had a possible violation that turned out to be not be because the center guard that was moved stayed on the center line, and then we have a no-take center line violation with this last rock here. But this is the sixth rock of the end, so now the guards are in play. You can hit them out. You can do whatever you want with them, aside from make stone soup with them. I'm curious, you know, Stone Soup is such an iconic part of a lot of childhood reading, but I don't think it's really come into curling, even though we play with stones all the time. So if you have any Stone Soup recipes that you want to pass along, share them in the chat. I'm going to Google what Stone Soup is just to make sure it's not anything inappropriate and be right back. Not really. I'm going to stay here as the yellow like to rot trashes on the center guard pile and rolls to the corner. So it's actually guarding that corner that was put up earlier in the end. And so now I think Malia wants to draw on top of her shot stone in the center. This is Zoe's second shot here. She's a proud dog mom to a German Shepherd mutt and a plant mom of 60 plus houseplants. So looking for the draw. Want to make sure it gets around those guards. Line looked pretty good. Let's see if it holds on. And it looks like it's around those guards. Let's see if it's got the distance. And it's got the distance to just to kind of nibble that 12-foot there, as we can see from the Manitoba Mutton Manufacturers of America button camera. And so now I think Leichter is going to try and make a play on that top blue. I don't think they can double just from the angle that's set up. They could also take out the guards. That could be a plan B if it's too tight. And it looks like it's too tight. Looks like it's going to crash on the guards. It might move them around, which is not a bad outcome. And bang bang. Okay, this is a potential downside. They want to make sure that blue goes out of the house, and it will. So not a bad outcome. Some of the curling conventional wisdom is that it's rarely ever do you go wrong by clearing the guards, and that worked out for Team Leichter. So the first shot coming from Vice Amy Tucker. I think they're looking to kind of guard up the two stones they have in the house. One shot, the other third. And this is going to curl into the yellow guard and kind of roll wide. So so now that double is a better angle if Leichter wants to take it on, and she's indicating that she does want to, just based on where she's got the broom for Queen of Ewers. Looking to throw some heat here. It's going to wreck on the yellow and kick into the blue on the wing and pushes one of the yellows out of play. So unfortunate miss there. Um, Situation is still not too bad for either team. Uh, Malia is again sitting first and third shots, while Leichter is second on the wing, about 20% covered. It's not super covered on that wing there. And so I think Malia could be trying to maybe tap that blue back or guard up the shot. Yep, she wants to tap it back. This is going to be Tucker's last here in this end. They're kind of talking over things, or actually, looks like Tucker was making an adjustment. With that made, she is now pushing out of the hack. A little bit up weight, I think a little wide. So it's going to be interesting to see if this comes back. They're trying to coach it back with the broom, the brush, but it looks like it's gone. And Lighter is on hand to just make sure it gets out of the house, out of play, and mission accomplished for Lighter, and kind of leaves the door open again for Lighter to maybe try and. I was going to say they could try the double takeout again, but it seems like Lighter does not like that, and I think looking to possibly she was looking to maybe corner freeze on the shot stone, but now I think she's looking to maybe just tick that center blue out of the way. Uh, Possibly do the double takeout, but at least get rid of one of those potential blue scores later in the end. Last rock coming from Mewers, calling the sweep on. It looks like it might actually crash on the yellow, uh, depending on where it hits. This could end up not being too bad. And indeed, it wasn't too bad. Kind of the opposite side of one of the possibilities that Leichter was looking at. I thought she may have been looking to corner freeze on the bottom side from this view, but based on kind of some of the bouncing around of the running the center guard onto the corner guard, and then the shooter, or sorry, the center guard kind of rolled back towards the middle. Uh, Now, Leichter is sitting two and three, while Malia is first and fourth. So Malia is looking at the options here. It's possible but dangerous for Malia to hit at that yellow out to be sitting two. There's no, there is a possible double that she could be setting up. So I think that's why they switched positions to look at the other side. I think if they look to the other side, if they give it like a soft tap and then the blue rolls to the side, it could set up a possible. My apologies. Depending on how they hit that shot stone, it could maybe set up a possibility for two. Although I think this is Melia's last. Leichter has the hammer here in this end, and I think they're just opting to hit that yellow out of the way and reduce the possibility of Leichter scoring multiple points. Looks like they're doing pretty good on time with about 34 minutes left in the proposed time frame. Needs to. It looks pretty good. I think they're trying to hold it straight to prevent it curling. They don't want it to crash on their blue, and they're not going to. They're going to pick that yellow out, and great shot from Malia. to be sitting 1 and 3, but now Leichter has a choice here, and I think they're going to try that double takeout that they've been teasing about for a couple shots here. They need to get both of those blues. Uh, oh, so this is a situation where they're going to try a double takeout for just 1 point. This I say sometimes it's a tough way to score 1 point, and this is definitely looking to be a tough way to score one if the double is made successfully. Here we go. Oh, this is her first. I can't count. I apologize. So this needs to come back a little bit. They're trying to push it over. Needs to come back more, more, more. And it's trying to get one of the blues out of the way. And then the shooter's going to roll out of play. And so now um, Malia has a choice with her last. And this is truly her last. um, if they hit that yellow out of the house, then Malia would be sitting 3. And then the most that a lighter could do is just hit for 1. Uh, but it looks like they're going to put the center rock back up and then kind of force Lighter to probably either draw to the button for 1 or try that takeout again. And takeouts have been hard, just like math. No. I'm trying to think of who said math is hard. That wasn't Barbie, but a lot of people have said math is hard. And sometimes curling shots can be hard too. So looking to put back up that center rock. This end is shaping up pretty well for Team Maia. Although this might overcurl a little bit just kind of based on how it's looking from this view. It's overcurling, but it's going to outcount that yellow on the wing. So the double's still there, and the double could be for 2. That's kind of what Leichter's looking at. It's not an easy shot, but it's not the hardest shot either. So looking at the ice, I think the other thing is that they just want to kind of brush that top blue on the left and then roll onto the shot stone blue solidly to make sure that both stones leave the premises and then Lighter could get the deuce. Excuse me. Key shot here coming from Jennifer Leichter, Team Leichter. Looking to move some granites. Looks pretty good. Sweepers are trying to hold the line. This looks like they have 1. Oh, goodness. They just needed a little bit more energy on that stone, and it would have got both of those blues moving out past the 12 foot. As it was, Leiter was able to salvage a point to pull ahead 6-5, and we'll be entering the 7th end when we come back in just a moment. welcome back to the 2023 MoPac Arena Playdowns, coming to you live from the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. This is your host Ryan, bringing you our continuing coverage of the tournament with the final games tonight. But we have two more draws on tap tomorrow, some semifinal and playoff action. We'll see if, well, we'll definitely have the games. We have a game at 1:30 and a game at 5:30, I believe. Let's double check that. And then also going around the rings. So yes, so 1:30 and 5 are our game times tomorrow. Going around the rings really quickly, from right to left. Sheet 2 is our feature sheet, where Leichter has a 6-5 lead over Malia. Sheet 3 features Team Barbary of Wine Country taking on Team Assis of Silicon Valley. And again, Team Barbary is really just kind of adding ones to the tally. They are now up 6-2 after 5 ends. Sheet 4 is the tiebreaker for Group B for the men, as we have Team Stephanie from Wine Country playing with the Yellow Rocks, taking on Team Burnt from Orange County. Uh, Burnt is ahead, but Stephanie looks to be sitting shot right now. It'll be interesting to see how that end unfolds. Burnt is up 6-5, so if the situation stands now, Stephanie would steal one and tie the game. And then on sheet 5, we have Team Suarez taking on Team Feldman. Team Feldman cracked a 5 spot in the 6th end to go up 10-4 over Team Suarez from San Diego. Let's return to our feature game where rocks are in play, where Team Leichter scored a single in the last end. So that means Malia has a hammer, and we are in the 7th end. This looks to be a little heavy from Team Leichter. I say that, but it actually sat down and slowed pretty nicely to the button. So great shot. I take that back. And so now Malia wants to kind of draw down and sit on top of that yellow that was just thrown. As Zoe gets set for her last here. So it looks like it's going to draw into that pile of centers. Lighter kind of rushed out to see if she could get a couple rush swoops to get that yellow to go a little further back, but no avail. And so now Lighter wants to kind of block the draw path to the button by putting up a guard. And this is going to be Kira's last here. I can count. Looking for a guard. Top of the house is fine. So just kind of based on her facial expression, I think she thinks it might be a little off. Let's see where it ends up. Sweepers are really trying to carry it to go a little bit further. It looks pretty good. And again, top of the house is probably, well, that's where Leichter has the broom. That's where they want it to end up. And so I don't know what Kiro is worried about. That looked to be a good shot. I didn't get into the house. And so now it is Leichter sitting one pretty buried under the center, and Team Malia sitting second in the back. And so Malia is wasting no time calling for uh, Amy Tucker to take out some of these center guards here. Let's see how many stones she moves from the playing field. Just one. The stone put itself away though, so that was a nice consolation. And so again, I think Leichter wants to put up another guard to just make it harder for Amelia to get access to that crucial center of the house. Looks pretty good from Queen of Ewers. Make sure it gets over the hog line. Leichter is rushing out to help, and this is going to come up short. So a miss there. It does offer a little opportunity for Malia, although Amelia is looking to, I think, take another crack at those center guards to open up the house, open up a path to the center of the house. So again, has the broom on some of these center guards, looking for Amy Tucker to bring in the noise. And curling is a great sport for kind of the sound effects, kind of the roaring sounds that the stones make as they travel on the ice is what gave the sport its name, the roaring game, its nickname. But also like hearing the clack of the stones as they hit others on the ice, it's a beautiful thing. Shots away. This looks like it's going to hit the yellow on the side if it stays, and I think it's going to stay. It hits the yellow, runs the yellow back to the house, and actually gets rid of the shot stone. But the stone that got run back kind of rolls under cover, and so now Leichter again wants another guard to protect that one stone. This is Queen of Muir's last here. So it looks like they're calling for a two guard. Definitely the weight's there to get into the playing area. Looking for a good line here. It's a little wide, but it's going to finish pretty nicely. Not quite a corner freeze, but definitely takes the angle away for Malia to run the yellow onto the yellow and go for a double takeout there. So I think Malia wants to clear those yellow guards that are just outside the house. Also looking from this head-on view, there's a lot of protection on the left side of the house if someone wanted to try and draw and put a stone on that side. So definitely it makes sense that the play is on this right side of the sheet from this view as Amy Tucker is getting ready to deliver her last. Definitely needs another upweight shot. Um, Kind of was outside, but the release kind of put it closer to the center, but I think it's going to stay wide. Sweepers are called off, and they're just kind of escorting it down the ice, and it might come back, but it's not going to. It's sitting down though. Oh goodness. Okay, that may have been what they drew up. If so, good job. So now I think Leicher's going to try and follow Malia down and put one in. Maybe this is tough because if they put it in the top 8 foot, kind of where the L and O are in the Olone, um, it could set up a possible a double for Amelia to take on. They could just draw it down to the blue. That would maybe be the best outcome. It depends on how much of a guard they want. So Jennifer gets set. So a couple of her highlights of her curling career were playing as the week-long substitute for the California team in the 1998 Mixed National Championship and winning the silver medal at the Mixed Doubles National Championship in 2012. So this is hanging out there. This is going to be a guard, and again, that's probably the right way to miss there to make it hard for Amelia to get access to the center of the house. A little hand slap there. High, it's not a high five, a sideways five. So it looks like at least one of the games is getting off the ice. Looking to Bondspieler. Okay, Bondspieler has been updated at bondspieler.com. It does look like that Feldman of Wine Country stole a single in the seventh to go up 11-4, and Team Suarez from San Diego had decided that's that and shook hands. So the other games are extremely close, and we will keep you updated as we continue. On our feature sheet, the broom's down, and I looks like Melia's going to throw a bullet into this pile here and get some of these rocks moving. One of them might spill into the house, or at least open things up so they can add to the house with their last shot. So from 140 feet away, Melia's taking another look at this before getting set in the hack. She seems okay with it. And the shot's away. This is not high heat. Sweepers are trying to hold the line. I think it's going to fall back. And actually, if it curls as much as I think it might, it's going to kind of come really close to that yellow that Leichter just threw. And that is where it ends up. Um, Not entirely sure what Melia's call on that shot was. So now Leichter is sitting one. But Malia sitting 2 and 3. So if Malia is ever able to get rid of that shot stone again, could really turn this end around. So Leiter's looking at blocking the draw on that side. I think maybe she's concerned about how you see from this head-on view that there's a port between those two blue stones to the yellows. And if Malia hits those yellows at the right angle, it could kind of blow up the yellows in the house. The difficulty of that shot is high, but that might be just trying to take away the shot with the best possible outcome for Amelia. And so this is Leichter's draw, I believe, for guard here with her last without hammer in the seventh. Sweepers want to make sure it gets over the line. I think once it's over the line, they're going to jump off of it and let it settle as it lay. And they do. And they're going to let it finish. And it's going to settle right in front of those two yellows that I was speculating as a very complicated angle takeout, angle raise takeout. And so now Malia is looking at possibly a super difficult shot. Looking at, I would say, a 20-foot angle raise takeout. I don't know if the angles are there, but that seems to be the shot. And again, looking at the risk and reward, the risk is maybe giving up one at this point. There's a possibility of giving up two, as the last shot is away here in the last end. So I don't think it's there. And it does kind of crash on the blues, not at the right angle for the long run back. And so it's going to be a steal of one for Team Leichter. They're going to be up two as we head into the last and decisive end here. As it's Leichter 7, Malia 5. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to our coverage of the 2023 MoPac Arena Playdowns, coming to you live from the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. This is your host Ryan, calling all the X's and O's, the hits and rolls and drawbacks and hitbacks and runbacks and all the other backs, fat backs, swimming in. There's a song about fat backs, I guess like a type of pork swimming in something, but I don't remember. It's a food song, so it's not bad. It's just not something I remember. I apologize. All right, so our feature sheet is on sheet two. Let's update you on the remaining two games on the remaining three games on the ice. Sheet three is still very much in progress as we are in our last end here. Sheet four, the contest between Stephanie and Burnt. They are tied at 6-all after six. Burnt has a hammer on seven, so this one might go down to the wire. On sheet three, the game between Barbary and Assis of Silicon Valley. Assis put up a deuce in the sixth end to draw within two, so that game is very much still up in the air. Switching back to our feature game, where we have the first rock coming from the Malia lead, Ruth and Madamba. It's going to crash on the center guard and going to be a no tick violation. So the center guard is put back into place, and then the offending stone is removed. So a situation where Malia needs points in this last end. Losing that first lead rock is gonna might be critical to the outcome. And just as a reminder, I'll do my best to let you know about some of the scenarios with the tiebreaker coming up. Uh, I say tiebreaker. Depending on the outcome of these games, there could be an outright champion, and there could be a playoff for second place, or there could be a playoff for both first and second place. And we'll do my best. I say we. I'll do my best to inform you of what the possible variations might be. But do kind of tune into bondspealer.com for uh, the actual posted schedule. And then if there is going to be a tiebreaker or a women's final, that would be at 1:30 tomorrow at the same time as the men's semifinals. And we'll have four teams there. And then at 5 o'clock, we'll have the men's final. And if there needs to be a second women's game, that's when the second women's game would take place. So that's coming up tomorrow from Oakland and on the MoPac YouTube channel. Next truck coming from Team Malia. Malia. I do appreciate people letting me know the best ways to pronounce people's names because I definitely want to get that right. Oh my goodness, that rock hogs. So Malia has some work to do if they're going to take 2 points here to force an extra end or to take three for the win. Leichter, I think, was a little heavy with their last stone, and so they're going to try and draw around that center guard again with Kira Manayan's first here. This looks to be pretty good about getting around that cover, and well executed shot there from Kira. And we will see how Amelia responds. I will be back in just a moment. Looking back at the action here, uh, it looks like Amelia was able to put a rock into the house, and then Kira tried to, I think, maybe tap the yellow back, but ended up kind of opening things up. So this could be the opportunity that Amelia is looking for to get back into this game. This is the second stone coming from Zoe, looking for some heat. I think looking for a hit and roll. It's going to hit and it's going to roll towards the center under the center guard. So a great shot. So Melia sitting two that they need to tie the game. And Leiter, I think, is trying to maybe open things up. I would perhaps maybe remove the guard in this case, just because then it would open up the center. So then Leiter could take out those blue center stones. But it looks like they're going to try and draw, which makes sense because the blue that's just behind the back button is pretty open, and so Mewers is throwing some weight at it. Sweepers are now, I think, trying to coax it over a little bit. This looks pretty good. Needs to move over maybe just another couple inches. So it hits probably pretty much close to center and it rolls wide. And so now this could be the potential for a hitting game between both teams. Amy Tucker is getting set for her first here. A very crucial shot here. And I think they're also maybe looking to see if they can roll undercover just to make it harder for Team Leichter to take out multiple blue stones. So up weight. Now they're trying to hold it straight. And it's curling. It's going to hit on the outside a little bit and roll away. So not a bad outcome because Malia is sitting two, and the double's not there. Um, there's three stones left for both teams, and so they could move the guard aside and open things up to get back to the center. They could try and draw to the back of the button. Don't really see if they could hit it. I think they're maybe looking to maybe draw to it, but they want to draw on top of it. Um, but now they're considering other options. That hit on the left wing from this view is not, I think, favorable because it would, if it rolls back to the center, it would roll to the back eight and not outcount that blue. The advantage would be that it removes at least one of the blue counters. So it looks like they're going to try and draw around the center guard, maybe make contact with the blue, or maybe settle it down in the back. There's some good possibilities with this draw. Even if also if it crashes on the center guard and moves the center guard to the side, there's a positive outcome. But it's around that center. Oh, it crashes. So again, a possible positive outcome because it opens up the center, and now Malia was probably going to put up a guard. And now the challenge is for Malia to put up a sufficient guard or a perfect guard. And then if they do, then Lecter will try and hit it away. But if Malia is off at any point, then it opens the door for Lecter to hit that shot stone and kind of hopefully save the end. So this is definitely a situation where you play to the scoreboard. Uh, For Team Leichter, it's okay to give up one. It's not the end of the world to give up two, but you don't want to give up three. So this is the second stone coming from Amy Tucker, her last of the night for regulation. And this looks to be, it looks wide, but that could be good for the guard that they're trying to put up. Or are they looking to go in the house? Well, it's going to be in the house. Oh no. So this is probably the worst outcome that they could have done in the situation, because all Lecter has to do is put the broom kind of there. If they hit it right on the schnoz or the crotch, as some people describe it, get those both of those blues moving. It reduces the counters for blue, and then yellow would likely be shot at the end of this because the shooter would kind of roll into the blue on the bottom from this view. So just an interesting turn in this end. Just the latest of the many fascinating turns that this game has taken. So they're looking. I'm trying to. I'm curious to see what the turn is here because if it was up to me, I would put the broom maybe on the inside of that left blue and then have it curl clockwise um, into the pile there. And then if you're a little wide, you'll likely hit that blue shot stone, and then you can play with that later in the end, or at least outcount that blue on the wings. Here, okay, there they are, possibly moving the broom. Okay. I mean, there's a way to get both of those stones moving. If, where they had the broom before, I think they were going to also curl clockwise and hit the yellow. Sorry, have the yellow hit the bottom blue, and then if they hit it at an angle, it would move both of the stones out of the house. But then the shooter would roll away, I believe. So just an interesting question of where to put the broom here. And this is going to be a tee shot coming from Leichter. Got the weights. The line looks pretty good. Needs to move about a stone's width. It looks like it's going to be there. Just the one. It nosed it. So kind of what I thought the plan B would be. So it does outcount the blue on the wings. However, that yellow is open. So if Malia hits on the correct side, it would get the yellow through the house, and then Malia would be sitting three. So this does put the win in position for Malia. Again, the skips are trading key shots back and forth. There's no room to hide. There's no quarter here. This is cutthroat curling, which sounds like a Nintendo Wii game from 12 years ago. So they're trying the other rotation. Lecter uh, through clockwise, and Amelia's throwing counterclockwise. So this, just based on where the broom is, this might not end up where they were hoping. And oh goodness, looks like the sweeper also took a slight kneel. I don't know if it was a full fall there. Hopefully she's okay. But that was not an optimal outcome. And so now the situation, again, playing the scoreboard, Leicher's up two. They're okay giving up one. They can't give up two. I mean, they can give up two, but they can't give up three. If they give up three, it's game over. If they give up two, the game plays on. If they give up one, they win. The game's still over, but they won. So they could try. Okay, I don't like hitting that blue shot stone out. I think they need to let that be because if they hit that blue out and they hit it right on the nose, there's a possible double for Malia to win. I think what I would look at, and I think they're kind of looking at it too, is that if they draw around those two center-ish stones to the back four, they have a chance to be shot. Um, and if they're shot, then Malia has to make a play on it. Uh, but they don't want to they don't want to leave the stone in a position where Malia can hit and roll to get the two. Um, oh goodness. They put the broom down to hit the blue out. There's a lot of risk in this shot, as I mentioned, because if they hit it on the nose, there's a possibility of a double. I think the way they have the broom, this could be the best possible outcome because they are kind of going to do like a soft double from what it looks like. They would hit the blue just above the center, and so kick the blue out and then roll the yellow shooter onto the yellow second stone, and so then it would create some separation, pretty much parallel to each other, so they couldn't do the double. Amelia couldn't do the double for multiple points. Uh, Again, the risk is high. The outcome, if the shot isn't made, could be victory. Shots away. Line looks pretty good. Needs to curl a little bit more. They don't want to hit their stone until after they hit the blue stone. It looks pretty good. Hit and roll. Okay. So I think they needed to hit that blue a little more solidly to push it further back. And so now Malia has a fairly straightforward nose hit for two, the tie to force the extra end. So a little bit of a little chuckle from Malia as she made her way down the ice. A very key shot here. This is for the tie. I don't think there's a shot for the win, but don't quote me if I'm wrong. And the shot's away, looking for a nose. It needs to stick around. They need to sweep on to hold it to the line. They can't let it over curl, and it's over curling. This could be trouble, and it is trouble, unfortunately. It makes contact. I see what happened to it. However, it was not enough. It's going to be a steal of one for Team Leichter to secure the win. So just unfortunate there from Team Malia. I think what happened was I think it just maybe kissed that yellow stone to make it shots, and that was the difference in the game there. So just unfortunate miss there from Team Malia. But they had a good run in this event. Looking at their record, they finish pool play with a 2-3 record. Um, they beat Team Barbary, and they also were able to beat Team Suarez from San Diego. So a pretty good game all around, and we will definitely get you up to date on some of these other games in action. We might switch to another sheet as well in just a moment. So looking at the two remaining games on the ice, we have two games with a 1 point advantage. It looks like sheet C is further along, so let us switch to that sheet and see what's going on. I might switch back to sheet 4 as we continue, but it looks like sheet 3 is the game between Team Assis from Silicon Valley taking out Team Barbary from Wine Country. Barbary's been in the lead, uh, but Assis has come back to be a point down. Uh, Barbary is still up one with a hammer in the eighth, 6-5, but there are two Assis stones out counting Barbary's only shot in the house, only shooter in the house. Sheet 4 is the men's tiebreaker between Team Stephanie of Wine Country and Team Burnt of Orange County. Um, it's been a fairly back and forth game, but Burnt is up one without the hammer. It's Burnt 7, Stephanie 6. Stephanie has the hammer coming home, and we'll keep you up to date as it looks like they get towards skip stones here. This shot, this looks to be skip stones for Barbary and Assis. This shot opens up the center. This could be something. It's nothing. They needed to have it count and it wrecked on the guard in the front of the house. So Assis steals two and steals the win. They have maintained their undefeated record through round robin play. So that brings in some of the scenarios for the playoffs into play. I will update that in just a moment. Undefeated Team C, so we will hopefully see them again if they play. Let's switch now to sheet 4 for the men's tiebreaker. And this is a situation where Burnt is up one without the hammer, so they are either going to. I think they basically need to steal the win here by preventing Stephanie from scoring in this end. Looks like we are at third rocks here, as we see one of the burnt family, the burnt father, take a shot. This looks to be the last of the Vice stones for Team Burnt, and it looks like they're drawing through the port. This is a great shot. Wow. Uh, Through the port, around the center guard to tap the blue shot, sorry, the the red shot stone closer to the center. So very good play there. Um, Also, with that last women's game, that means that all the women's games are done. So if Bonspieler's up to date, I could look to see what the tiebreaker scenarios are, and that does look to be the case. So we have a situation where we have a team with a perfect record. So I think they are. 1 second. We have a team at 5-0. Okay, so it looks like there will be a two-game playoff between Team Assis and Team Feldman. Team Feldman had a 4-1 record, as we see the last third stone coming from Team Stephanie. I say Team Stephanie. Yes, it's Team Stephanie. So it looks like, oh, it crashed on the guard, but this could still be something. Puts a rock into the house, so it's something that Stephanie could make use of later in the end here. Okay, so looking at the scenario, we have scenario 20, where we have a team with a perfect record in the first seed with the C's, and then we have a 4-1 team alone in second place, and so that means both Assis and Feldman will advance to a two-game playoff. The first game is going to be tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Um, I don't know if it's just a situation where they definitely do have to play twice. I'm curious to see how that two-game playoff works. It could be a situation where uh, Assis has to lose twice, and that might be why they have the second game. Well, I'll look into that and update you guys. Maybe not tonight, but tomorrow definitely during the game. And then Feldman would have to win twice to win the championship. However, one of the outcomes from this that we do know is that both Assis and Feldman have punched their tickets to the U.S. Arena National Championships coming up in early November at Curl Masabi in northern Minnesota. So congratulations to both of those teams for advancing to the national championships. They look to be definitely formidable competitors, and we hope they definitely bring their A game to the nationals. Right now on sheet four, we're looking to see which of these teams is going to advance one step closer to possibly getting a ticket to Arena Nationals. So this is the first of skip stones for Team Burnt. Austin Burnt, I believe, with the first of skip stones, putting up a guard just to kind of block the path, and that does make it harder for uh, Stephanie here. Both Stephanie and Burnt finished with 2-2 records, along with Team Millard from Oval Curling. Uh, but by the nature of the tiebreakers, I believe it went to a head-to-head, and each team had beaten one of the other teams and lost to the other team. And so then it came down to who had the best draw shot challenges. And both Burnt and Stephanie had better draw shots than Team Millard, and that's what set up this tiebreaker here. So Stephanie's looking at a tough situation here. So some people have asked about whether about it's good to be first or second. The winners get a championship banner. So there is something to play for. So I was saying you win a banner if you win the championship. There's a banner involved. My club doesn't have a banner, so I would like a banner. So I mean, would you do me the banner? No, I'm just joking. Congratulations. Some of the teams have gone off the ice, and they're kind of debriefing just about what advantages and disadvantages are of playing the playoff games. We'll see what happens tomorrow. So Stephanie's back in the hatch after debating what to do with her shot here. So this, I think they're looking to just kind of maybe run some stones back, at least clear out the fronts for a chance for the last. Gets one. Okay, so the center dart is cleared, and now I think it's going to be on Team Burns to basically put the guard back up. I'll be right back, but enjoy the action while we wait. We are back. I had to take a photo, but we're coming down to a photo finish here with the last game on the ice. One team will see tomorrow and play another day. The other team will also see tomorrow, but they would be out of the competition. This is Burnt's last here. I think looking for a guard. They want to make sure that Stephanie can't get a single point to tie the game. And so I don't think they would try and draw in, although it is looking to be a little upweight. So it looks like they're going to put another in at the top of the house. Not a bad outcome. It does leave open kind of the side, the left side. There's also maybe a potential triple for the one. Red onto red onto red. I don't know if the angles are quite there for that. It looks like they're trying to line up that shot. They're going to need. I was thinking the triple, but they could also maybe do like an in off angle raise. So hits the inside where Stephanie has the broom there, and then kind of angle it towards the yellow on the left, and then there's always an and then angle it towards the shot stone uh, in the top of the forefoot. I don't know if it's there. So this is Team Stephanie with Dan Stephanie playing for their lives, facing at least two, down one. They need a miracle. It looks like there's some ice maintenance going on too. No, I don't not quite sure what's going on there. Looks like the glide path maybe a little fudgy perhaps. Not quite sure. I don't know if they actually did anything there, so I don't want to say otherwise. So they're really thinking about it, talking about it. So it looks like they're going to try and draw. This is a tricky shot. I like a heavy draw. So it looks like what I would think they are going to do is I think they're going to draw with like back four weights. They're going to probably hit the shot red and then roll hopefully towards the edge of the forefoot while the shot red moves out into the 8 foot zone. That's a tough shot, but that's probably better than some of the things I was talking about. And this is the last shot from Team Stephanie, Dan Stephanie, looking to shoot the gap, wick off of the red. Ooh, this is it looks pretty good. Needs to move over a little bit more. Oh, now it's over curling, and they're shaking hands. That's gone. So Team Burnt picks up a steal at two here at least. I think it's two to take a 9-6 victory, and will live to see tomorrow. So good game from all involved, and that is going to wrap up our coverage from tonight's feature games. Just to recap one last time, on our feature sheet, we had Team Leichter steal the last end to defeat Team Malia 8-5. Sheet three, we had Team Assis complete a perfect round robin series by stealing the win, 7-6 over Team Barbary of one country. Sheet four, we just saw the tiebreaker. Stephanie had a very difficult shot. It just overcurled a little bit for Burnt to steal 2 points to secure a 9-6 victory. And then we had Team Feldman take down Team Suarez 11-4. So that's going to wrap things up from tonight's coverage of the MoPac Arena Playdowns from San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. We're going to be back tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Pacific uh, for something. It might be one of the men's semifinals. It might be a women's game. We'll let you know. And then on sheet two at 5 o'clock is going to be the men's final. And so please do tune in for both of those games. So for all of us here at San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club and MoPac, this is your host Ryan Olson saying so long, good curling, and I hope to see you Sunday.